Nothing prepares you for when you actually get onto placement.
You feel a bit like a fish in a very large ocean.
But it's just something I won't ever forget.
So on healthcare courses at Sheffield Hallam, you spend 50% of your time out in the real world. You could be on community, you could be on a surgical ward, a medical ward, and you spend the other 50% of your time in university.
We get a lot of simulation time in university, which is a fantastic opportunity to practice your clinical skills.
This is our opportunity to basically implement our skills, check that they're right and make mistakes before we work with real patients.
People sometimes get complacent when they're doing stuff in uni, thinking it's going to be just as easy, but it's not, because you've got all these other things to contend with on the ward.
Things like taking bloods, it's not the same as doing it in university than on a real person. I had a lady that came in and she had full sleeve tattoos.
A patient may need feeding, but then another patient may need meds at the same time.
I cared for a woman who unfortunately went into respiratory arrest, which nothing can prepare you for that, which is quite scary.
It's a juggling act really, but it's wonderful.
I got very surprised of all the involvement that students get from the first week. I thought all the time I was just gonna be behind a staff member watching them how to do their things. And that's very good because then that builds your confidence.
And uni are always there to support you. There's support officers and you've got link lecturers who come onto the ward just to make sure that everything's going right.
With each different placement you get a different mentor. In my community placement I've been really lucky to have the same mentor for all 3 years and you become like a little family. It's really lovely.
Personally, in second year my mum was diagnosed with breast cancer and my mentor noticed a change in me and changed my behaviour whilst I was on placement, that I just wasn't my usual self. I felt like I could open up to her and I let her know what was going on, and it did help me feel a lot better and I did feel like I wasn't alone.
One of the very good things about clinical placement is that you get a chance to see different departments.
I was working in A&E and we got a red phone through. There was pain management teams there were surgeons there was nurses there. It was just a really, really good opportunity to see how everything worked and how people worked interprofessionally.
From my first year, I've improved loads on placement.
It's just little milestones for me, like injecting a patient without shaking for the first time.
Making sure that you can realise when there's something not quite right.
But when you come to your third year, you do realise that improvement and you can just flip back and think, goodness, this was such a big deal 2 years ago and now I'm doing it with my eyes closed.
I have found that it has really opened my horizons to so many different possibilities of job at the end of it.
They teach you things like how to manage your patients, manage a ward, which are all skills that we'll need when I qualify in a few months.
It's very hard to decide which way to go. I like everything, every little bit of it.